Hi everyone. So this week I wanted to give you some tips on hanging pictures in your home. This is one of the things that when I go on decorating consults, I find people avoid it. They put it off. They don't think they can do it themselves. I'm here to tell you, if you're one of those people that has stacks of pictures leaning on the floor, leaning up against the wall that you haven't hung, you can do it. I'm going to encourage you and show you how easy it is. It will not look any worse. I promise there's nothing you can do that is going to mess up the walls so bad that it's going to look any worse than it does blank with the picture sitting on the floor. Everything can be fixed. You can fill a hole if you mess up. You can patch it. It is not a big deal. So what stops a lot of people is the dreaded double hanger on the back of frames. I hate these things. I do everything I can to avoid them, but they are unfortunately on the back of most frames. It's very hard to get, so hard to get them perfectly spaced, just right, to get them perfectly level. It just makes it twice as hard. And so what I have found is this special tool. It's called a Hang-O-Matic. I know it's super cheap. You find this at Hobby Lobby in the checkout aisle, like with all the random stuff right near the checkout. It's in a little box, and what it is basically a ruler that has a level on it. But what it also has is these little spikes, 2 of them, that you can adjust and put right at the exact places you need to put your nails, and you can push them into the wall so they make a little mark for you. And you use the level in between the 2 spikes to make sure that those are level and that your picture will hang perfectly straight. It makes it so easy. It's like a multi-tool that just takes all the guesswork out of hanging stuff. These are called D-rings, I think. That's what I call them, at least. And you can just screw them in to the back of anything. You can screw them into the back of frames, into architectural pieces, whatever you need to hang from. And then one other tip I have for you, if what you're hanging maybe doesn't have anything on the back to hang from, maybe it's an old window, a shutter, some kind of architectural piece, I always have plenty of these in my toolbox. And then you can either hang from this right here, just put a screw right through there, or you can put 2 of these on the back and run wire in between them and hang it from the wire. They're made for either of that, and these come in all different sizes. If you do have something heavy, definitely check the package because it will say what the weight limit is on these. So generally the bigger they are, the more weight they can hold. And if you have something super heavy like an old window or a shutter, you definitely want to get. One more tip on these little D-rings. If I have something to hang that has 2 hangers on the back, like this big sign right here, and I want to make it easier, I just screw one of these right into the middle, and now you have to measure it to make sure it's perfectly in the middle or it won't hang straight. And sometimes it still doesn't hang straight. So what I do is just put a little command strip at the bottom, make sure it's level, then push it in, and it will not move. Speaking of command strips, that's the last little tool I want to talk about when hanging pictures. I use them a lot, not to necessarily hang a whole picture from because it makes me kind of nervous. I know they say they can hold the weight, but I am skeptical. But instead, I use them at the bottom of pictures just to secure it so it won't move. Because if you have a picture on a wire, every time someone walks by or your kid bumps up into it, it moves and then it's crooked always. So this is just one extra way to ensure all your hard work stays put, and you can just cut a tiny little sliver of a command strip, put it at the bottom, and it will hold your picture perfectly level so it can't get bumped and can't get moved. For example, every time I would walk in the kitchen, this horse picture would be crooked because it's on a big long wire, even though no one touched it. So what I did is put a tiny little command strip on the bottom right here, made sure it was level, then you have checked your level before you push it in and secure that command strip, and then it will be good to go for as long as you need it. The thing that trick is super useful for is gallery walls, because there's nothing worse than getting your entire gallery wall in place and then something starting to be crooked and continuing to be crooked every time you look at it. So I use that on all my gallery walls.